everyone. Welcome back to our podcast. I'm really excited about today's topic because it's something that everyone can relate to. We're going to talk about hobbies, what they are, why they're important, and how they shape our lives. So let's jump right in. What is your hobby?
Oh, I've got quite a few, but if I had to choose one that really defines me right now, it's definitely photography. I love capturing moments, whether it's landscapes, people, or even abstract shots. It's such a creative outlet for me. It really makes me see the world differently. What about you?
Photography. Huh? That's awesome. For me, I'd say reading is my top hobby. I can get lost in a good book for hours, whether it's fiction, nonfiction, or even poetry. There's something magical about being transported to another world through words. But what I love most is how reading allows me to explore new ideas, cultures, and perspectives that I may not experience in my day-to-day life.
Yeah, reading's a great escape. It lets you explore so many different lives and experiences. But I'm curious, why do you think hobbies are so important? What do they really bring to our lives beyond just filling up free time?
Good question. I think hobbies are way more than just a way to pass time, right? They give us a chance to express ourselves, to find joy in something that isn't tied to work or school. I mean, think about it. When we're really engaged in our hobbies, we're usually not thinking about our stresses or to-do lists. It's almost like they give us a break from all the noise in our heads. And they help us grow, you know? Hobbies challenge us to learn new things, and that sense of progress can be really rewarding. What do you think?
I completely agree. Hobbies give you that outlet where you can be yourself without any expectations or pressure. I think the beauty of hobbies is that they allow you to focus on something you love, something that's just for you. And like you said, they help us grow. I didn't always know much about photography, but the more I got into it, the more I realized there's so much to learn: composition, lighting, editing. It's been a journey, and it's really rewarding to see my progress over time.
That's such a good point. Hobbies really do evolve over time, don't they? What starts as a casual interest can turn into something much bigger. And I think that's one of the coolest things about having a hobby. It can grow with you. Like for me, I used to just read for entertainment, but now I've gotten into more serious topics, like philosophy, psychology, and even business books. It's helped me broaden my understanding of the world.
Yeah, hobbies definitely evolve as we grow. It's funny. I never thought I'd be so into photography. It started with taking pictures on my phone during trips and hikes, but then I got my first DSLR camera and everything changed. I started to see the world differently. Now I find beauty in the smallest details: a crack in the sidewalk, sunlight filtering through the trees, or even the way shadows fall on buildings. Do you feel like your hobby has changed the way you see the world?
Absolutely. Reading has changed how I approach everything. For example, I used to take things at face value, but now I'm constantly analyzing, thinking deeper about the motivations behind characters, the symbolism, or even the social commentary that authors weave into their stories. It's given me a more critical mindset, and I find myself applying that to real-life situations too. I think hobbies like these help us develop new skills, even ones we don't initially expect.
I've also noticed how hobbies can create new connections between people. I've joined online photography communities, and it's been amazing to see how others interpret the same scene in completely different ways. You really get a sense of how personal creativity is. Has reading connected you to other people in any way?
That's a great point. Hobbies definitely have the power to bring people together. I've experienced the same thing with reading. I joined a book club last year, and it's been an amazing experience to discuss books with others. People bring their own perspectives, and sometimes they point out things I never even considered. It really enhances the whole reading experience. Plus, hobbies can be social, even if they seem solitary at first.
That's awesome. I think having a community or even just one person to share your hobby with can make it even more meaningful. There's something about sharing your passion with others that makes it feel even more special. Speaking of which, have you ever thought about turning your hobby into something more, like maybe a side hustle or even a career?
I've thought about it, actually. I've considered starting a blog where I review books, or maybe even write my own someday. I think when you're really passionate about something, it's natural to wonder if you can share that passion with a wider audience. But like you, I'm not sure if I'd want to turn it into a full-time thing. I enjoy reading for the pleasure of it, and I wouldn't want to lose that by making it feel like work.
Funny you ask that. I have, actually. I've started doing some freelance photography on the side, mostly for friends and family at events. I don't know if I'd ever want to turn it into a full-time career, though, because I like keeping it as something I enjoy without the pressure of making it a job. But who knows? It's nice to have that option. What about you? Would you ever want to turn your reading hobby into something more?
Yeah, I totally get that. Sometimes turning a hobby into a job can take away the joy of it. But it's great that we have the flexibility to explore those options. Even if it's just something we do on the side, it's nice to know our hobbies can open doors to new opportunities.
For sure. And I think that social aspect is so important. Whether you're part of a club, an online community, or just sharing your work with friends, hobbies can create bonds with people you might not have met otherwise. I've made some great friends through photography. We go on photo walks together, share tips, and give each other feedback. It's become this whole network of support, and it's amazing to have that in a hobby.
Absolutely. And hobbies can also help with mental health. I've read studies that show people who engage in hobbies are generally happier and less stressed. It's like giving your brain a break from the usual routine, and that can make a big difference in how you feel.
That's so true. I know for me, when I'm feeling stressed or overwhelmed, picking up my camera and going for a walk with the intention of taking photos really helps clear my mind. It's like a form of meditation almost. You're just focused on the present moment, looking for beauty in your surroundings, and everything else kind of fades away.
Yes, that's exactly how I feel when I read. It's like everything else disappears, and I'm fully immersed in the story. I think that's why it's so important to make time for hobbies, even when life gets busy. They give us that mental reset we all need.
Definitely. And remember, hobbies don't have to be these huge, time-consuming activities. It can be something simple, like cooking, gardening, or even journaling. The important thing is that it's something you enjoy and that it gives you a break from the demands of daily life.
Exactly. And on that note, I think we'll wrap things up for today. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We hope this episode inspired you to think about your own hobbies, or maybe even try something new. Remember to make time for the things that bring you joy. It's worth it.
Absolutely. Thanks for listening, everyone, and we'll catch you in the next episode.